Cheers! It's a beautiful day in Alabama.
It's a beautiful day in Alabama. This is the podcast We Are All Psychic. I am Lisa Russick.
And I am Misty Lord.
That's who she is.
That's who that is.
And Misty, do you think we're all psychic?
I think we are. What do you think?
I think we're all psychic. That's why we do this
all
podcast.
Right, well then let's go.
So listeners or watchers, this is a video podcast on Spotify. We're having Omens and wine today in this beautiful day in Alabama. So Misty, would you like to tell the listeners what exactly an omen is according to the internet?
Well, according to the Wikipedia definition, an omen, also called a portent, is a phenomenon that is believed to foretell the future, often signifying. I've had too much wine already.
Too much wine.
Too much wine.
Way too much.
The event of change. And it also is believed that omens bring divine messages from the gods.
Or the angels.
Or the angels. Yeah.
Or anything.
I think omens are pretty cool, don't you?
Omens are awesome. Yeah. So, this weird thing happened, listeners. I was talking to Misty. I wanted to do an omens podcast because we have it, and it's a fun topic.
It is.
And the first thing that I thought of, other than counting crows, was when I was at my old apartment. This is my new place.
It's
beautiful. My porch. It's like the sheet tent plus.
Yeah. It's got the fan built in already.
This is lovely out here.
This is, yeah.
At the old place, we would go in our back doors. It was townhouses. And mine was in between two others. And everything was cement in the back. It was a parking lot. And we'd park and then walk to our doors. Everything was cement. No plants, no grass. But when Misty came over to visit me one time, I had a dandelion a weed growing out of the crack in my, between my little tiny porch and the road, or the parking lot and the road
where the crack is.
And she was like, I want to pull that. And I was like, no, don't pull the dandelion.
I almost did.
I didn't tell her why, but at the time I thought of it kind of as an omen of somebody who's starting over in a rough environment, feeling uncomfortable, but still can blossom. And I didn't want her to pick it. I didn't want to tell her that because I thought I sound like a crazy person. I should be used to sounding like people think, or yeah,
it's just me.
But so that was an example for me. That was an omen that when that dandelion came up, that I would persevere. I was
this close to picking that subject.
You were. You asked.
Yeah.
You were bent down.
I wasn't even going to ask. I was like, I'm going to do this for her.
You were bent down and you're
yeah, that was when I was going in. Yeah. And then when I was coming out, I was like, let me do it. She was like, don't do it. Don't touch it. I was like, I'm glad I asked because I was fixing to get that sucker.
She was fixing.
I like to pick them out of my garden.
Yeah.
It's just a habit.
Yeah. I know some people who just love gardening like that, and I know you're one of them.
Yeah.
Another omen, the listeners, this is the one probably everybody's heard of, is counting crows.
Yes.
So when you count, counting crows is an old kind of urban legend, and I printed something off the internet, this one I always liked, and I have a story to associate with this list, because when I first found this list was when I met my friend Akasha. Around that same time, and I went to visit her, and she gave me a deal on something I bought, and I gave her something else that I had. We just got along really well, but there was money exchanged, and she cut me a deal and something else. And when I got home, 5 crows took off. So I went and looked up this list right away. They were on my yard, they landed, and then they took off.
Wow.
So in this list, the 5 crows is a positive transaction.
Oh, I wouldn't have known that. Yeah.
So here's the list. 1 crow signifies bad luck, possible death. That's kind of
I don't want to see 1 crow.
And then 2 crows, good luck and change for the better. So 3 crows, a celebration, a possible marriage, or a birth of a girl.
Really?
That's what that one says.
3. I like that.
Yeah. And then 4 crows is birth of a boy or a significant event having to do with the sun, a son.
Huh.
So 5 crows, we've done that one. Positive transaction. And then 6 crows. I want this one. Gold and wealth.
Yeah, me too. Let me know when you see them.
Although a positive transaction was pretty good.
It is, but I'll go for the 6.
The 7 crows is interesting. A secret. And then 8 crows, something profound or a life-altering experience.
Interesting.
And then we have 9 crows. Denotes passion or something unusual. So passion is unusual.
It is unusual.
Oh, no, it says sensual. I misread it. Something sensual.
Oh,
that
sensual,
makes sense.
Passion, whatever.
Unusual, sensual, and passion.
That's right.
10 crows denotes something overwhelming. And then 11 crows, uncertainty. And then 12 crows is fulfillment.
So how many crows have you seen at one time in all that list?
Just one time when I was at that house,
that you were looking
the haunted
at?
house that I was looking at, there were 15, and that there weren't 15 on this list, so I just did 1 and 5, and it was signifies bad luck, possible death, and a successful transaction for that house.
Yeah.
It wanted to get us, listeners. That
It
haunted house we
did.
talked about
That's
long time
creepy.
ago.
I don't think I would have went for that one.
We didn't after that, and it was very strange because when we were at this place, when we brought the boys, that everything was different. The stairs were suddenly too narrow for the boys to walk up because their feet are really big, but the stairs weren't like that when we went the first time.
Yeah.
It was just strange. Anyway,
I'm glad that didn't go through.
Yeah, so that in that case, that was that was a crow where I had to do little numerology, break it down as 1 and 5, and if you want to count the 5,
that was smart.
If you want to count the 1 and 5 together, gold wealth for 6 for the house. I guess if we were there, it was going to take our souls. We were the golden wealth.
Yeah,
there are
I
stuff.
want to live
We don't
there.
have any of that. But
You want to live there? I don't want to live there.
Ain't
nobody got time for that.
I've told some people that story, and they're like, "I would love to live in a haunted house." And
I'm like, yeah, you might want to visit one for a minute, but you don't want to live in one.
Right.
No. I've watched too many stories.
Yeah.
No.
So what kind of omens have you learned about? Or
Well, one that is not my favorite, I will start off with, is snakes. I am totally terrified.
And her husband
of
loves
snakes.
them.
Yeah, and my husband is obsessed with them. Weird combo. What a love will do. But yeah, I hate snakes. I don't care how big they are, how small they are. I'm just terrified of them. Well, as far as like animals and omens, snakes actually, in many cultures, they're tied to the cycle of life, death
Ouroboros,
and
Ouroboros.
rebirth.
Yeah.
And it also, there's a connection too from snakes emerging from its holes signifies the beginning of spring, kind of
like the groundhog,
right? Like the groundhog.
Okay.
But where it got me is it can signify like the rebirth thing. So what happened was I was walking outside my front door, and there was a big ass snake, and it was black, and it was huge, and I mean huge.
I saw
thick.
that snake. I remember seeing.
Yes,
that snake.
I made her stay and
I like
see
that
it.
snake.
Yeah, I was like, no. Mm-mm. So anyway, I opened the door and I see this big ass snake, and we found the hole later on. So it had already made its little home right there in front of my house, and so like I was at that time I was having a really hard time with dealing with a lot of sickness, and there was a lot going on in my life. But when I saw the snake, it didn't, like, I was the first one to see it. It didn't try to harm me. It didn't do anything like that. It just kind of went its own little way. And so I thought about it and I read about it, and I was like, that snake's trying to tell me something. And come to find out, it was trying to tell me that there's going to be a lot of rebirth coming up in your life, and a lot of change for the better, and opening and awakening. And I'll be danged if that's not what happened.
Yeah, that was right when we started doing the podcast. That was the first time I came to your house, I think, when I saw that snake.
Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, it told her what.
Yeah, and I was like, no. And then it kept coming back.
Snake. Yeah, it was a sweet snake.
It was.
I like snakes, so it was just a sweet little face.
And I tried to get my husband to just, I didn't want him to kill it. So I was like, pick it up and go put it over there to the neighbor's yard or something.
Let's transform the neighbors' lives.
Right. And Justin was like, no, I'm not doing that. It's here for a reason. It likes it here.
Smart, Justin.
Yeah. He was like, it's staying. Right. And I was like, I'm leaving. But eventually, I don't know. I think it was about conquering fear as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because there's and a black snake. Black's like the mysteries and protection and
but,
stuff like that.
It turned out to be one of the best snakes you can have.
Yeah.
It was a chicken snake.
What
or a rat snake. One of those two. The ones that eats other snakes.
Oh, perfect snake for you.
It was. So if I were to have a snake, it'd have to be that one.
That's the one you would want.
Yeah. And then he showed me a video the other day of the snake, the same snake I saw, eating a rattlesnake. And I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, that's a tough snake.
They are tough. I tell you. In Alabama, they will eat you.
That is like seriously telling you something.
Yeah, it did. I'll tell you that.
So, sorry, I was just making sure we're still recording. Our screen went dark, but that's happened before and it doesn't.
Yeah, it didn't affect it. Okay.
So another thing I want to talk about with omens is cats, a black cat. So a lot of people think a black cat crossing your path is bad luck, but when I've researched into that, it looks like all over the world in different countries, it's either bad or good. It's just considered different in different cultures.
Yeah, it is.
And the same thing with the white cat. I think in Japan, the white cat is lucky. That's probably where the lucky cat came from. And I think in England, the white cat is unlucky. Or something like, I've read like different places, like one's lucky, one's unlucky. There's a lot of differences of opinion, but you know, in the States where we live, it's usually if a black cat crosses your path.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad luck.
Bad luck, but it's not true.
No.
But that's an omen. That's an example of, you know, like it suddenly crosses your path. So like whenever I think of an omen portending like the future, it's something that stands out, or you know, telling you something about your environment. For example, like when I used to live with my ex-husband, we had a pair of mated cardinals and a pair of mated blue jays in the yard, which they don't get along. Blue jays and cardinals don't get along.
Oh, wow.
And I looked into that, and what I read that it really, because it's really hard to find anything about that, but this was this is what I felt at this time is a mismatched couple lives in this house. And
wow, that's really good.
Yeah, and just a few months later we separated. So
wow,
they'd been in our yard for a long time, and I finally just kind of looked into it. You know, I was like, what is this?
That was really smart to do.
Yeah, and then they were telling me, you know,
they were.
And then a hawk. You know, the hawks. I didn't talk about the hawks, and when we were getting ready. So hawks, I love birds as omens.
I do too.
While back, I just started seeing hawks all the time, like everywhere. First time was going to Hartselle. And I was driving right into Hartselle, and this huge hawk came down, and it was like, it was all meaty, and I wanted to eat it, and I just wanted to eat it. I remember that really strange feeling, like I wanted to eat this hawk. It looked delicious, and
I never had that feeling.
I know, it's weird, and but it flew right next to my car for a minute, and then went across it, and I just kept seeing them, and whenever they were low like that, I would want to eat it. I just had this like feeling of wanting to eat it, and I asked Ruth Ann, the Reiki teacher who taught me Reiki, about it. I told her about it, and then I figured out what it was. She's like, well, I think it's a message. So she said, just keep working on it. There's a message there, and you know, you'll figure it out. And when I met my boyfriend, started dating him, I stopped seeing hawks. I'll still see one occasionally, but it's not like, hey, I'm a hawk. You know, but not this a place that I moved into, but there was a house I applied for, and when I went to look at it, I didn't get that house. But when I went to look for it, that was the last time I saw, like, I had a hawk crossing my path kind of situation. Like, it crossed my path. And it was a red-shouldered hawk. They're called red-shouldered. There's a longer name. I can't remember the whole name. But, and I just thought that's my new boyfriend. It just made me think of him because I'd already made the association that the hawks are men.
And you didn't want to eat him.
Well, I made the association that the hawks are men.
Yeah.
And these are the options, you know, and that was what the hunger feeling was, you know, it's kind of like a metaphor, maybe a different kind of appetite. Right. And so I saw this red-shouldered, and my new boyfriend has red hair, so that's why.
That's cool.
That's why this hawk was on the roof, and he poked his head out and flew over to like the side where I was, and then went back and flew into the neighbor's yard. He just wanted me to see him. And I was like, oh, and I read about that, and it says red-shouldered hawk will lead you to your home, is what the meaning of that.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, but I didn't get the house, which is weird, but
like,
still,
hey,
but the thing I thought of was my boyfriend. So
yeah,
you know, and I think he is leading me home.
I think he is too.
So Misty, what about butterflies?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Butterflies.
I love butterflies. Always have, always will.
Cheers to butterflies.
Cheers to butterflies. I love the butterflies. They're so colorful and they're butterflies.
Butterflies. Everybody got butterflies. Maybe not this one.
So like ever since I was little, I can even remember playing outside at my grandmother's house. There was always butterflies around. And I loved them. And I'd had my butterfly catching nest, and I'd try to catch them. And they're hard to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it entertained me and it got the energy out. So whatever. But yeah, I've always loved butterflies, and they've always seemed to come around me. I've had so many experiences with them. And finally, when I got older, I realized that they weren't just experiences, like they were trying to tell me something. I remember going outside this woman's house, and I was walking out the door, and there was butterflies everywhere in her yard. And I was like, look around. There's butterflies everywhere. And the people weren't even paying attention to it. They were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, look at the butterflies. They're everywhere. And they didn't care. And I was like, that's my animal. They're trying to tell me something, you know. And I found out that they were trying to tell me that, you know what, you're on the right path, and that you're growing, and that we're with you, was the feeling that I always got. And I looked the definition up, and guess what it was? Basically the same thing. And then when I left that house, I was like, this is so cool. And nobody else would get excited like I would. And I was driving home, and I want you to know, every 5 minutes a butterfly would go by me.
You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, they would come by. And every time I'm driving, a lot of times when I'm driving, I'll see a yellow butterfly, and I'll be like, oh, I'm with you, baby.
Love that.
I love it. I love it.
I have a moth-related story.
Tell me about your moths.
My white moths. When I moved into this place, I had a white moth. That it's spring. It was April 20th when I moved in, either around there, and there was a white moth in my apartment right when I moved in, and I'm like, that's a winter moth. What's a white moth doing in here? Yeah, right. And of course, I looked it up and tried to figure out meanings, and it's like a lot like butterfly. It's transformations, and but the white moth in particular had something to do with like transforming yourself, like what your essence is, and it also talks about like I'm gonna get those before they fly away. But anyway, I had a dream that night, a couple nights later, because this white moth would be everywhere, because he every time in a weird place. Like one time I picked up a piece, like a bar of soap off the sink that was kind of tilted, and it was on the other side. Like, it was in weird places. I went to the fireplace. There's a fireplace on there. Oh. Yay! And I went to get something. No, wet bar. It's got a bunch of candles in it. And he was like sitting right behind something on that I was moving on the fireplace mantle. And I was just like, where's this thing coming from? So I had a dream. After about 4 days of this, I had a dream that this porch was full of cocoons of white moths. And then a few days ago, I came out and I've been finding white dead moths, all like are living. They're just in here. They're everywhere. Yeah, there's no nests. I mean, there's no cocoons, but there's all these white moths. I know. And so I'm still kind of like trying to figure this one out for sure, but it's just really cool.
So listeners, if you know what that could mean, please let us know.
Leave us a voice message on Anchor or email.
Do. Yeah, we would love to know what's going on with this.
This moth, I feel good about it. I like the moth. I let him outside when he landed on something I could carry out. So it's not just many of him, I don't think. I don't think moths do that. Right. But there's a dead one right over there. Maybe if I get some I'll go get it and show it to you. No, I think I'll let him rest in peace. Yeah. That's an omen.
Don't touch the dead moth. No, not good.
Let's see.
What about Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th, yeah.
Okay, so like everybody thinks that's like a bad day.
Yeah.
I have never had a bad day on Friday the 13th. I always have a great day on Friday the 13th.
Well, 13 is a cat number. It's a number that cats like.
Oh, really?
And if you count 1 + 3, it's 4, and that's the angel number.
There you go. That's why it's
Saturday
lucky.
The 14th is really the day you want to be scared of, just like the movie in the 80s. Because if you add, 1 and 5, 1 and 4, and 1 and 4, you have 5, and that's changes and. Nobody likes change. No. Change is terrifying. Mm-hmm. Some of them are. Yeah. I have a kind of sad story, a sad omen story to tell about the white possum. So, I had a cat named Roxy, and I loved Roxy very much. And she was Ouija's daughter. When she got a little older, about 6, I think, she started going kind of mad. And her father was our cat, and he went feral. And, but she just kind of went, it's like she was losing her mind, her memory, she just wasn't there anymore. Mm-hmm. She just sit on the back porch and space out. Well, we noticed, my son Terry noticed a white possum outside the house and told me about it. And I was like, really? I've never seen a white, like an albino possum.
I've never seen one either.
And I went, and a few days later, I was, on the back porch with Roxy looking for her. And I just sat down and, I can't remember what else I was doing. I was doing something else out there. I was looking for her and doing so. I sat down on the couch in the back porch, and this white possum walked out of the laundry room cat door, because we had like a laundry room connected to the house on the outside with a cat door going in and another cat door in the inside of the house. This white possum walks out this cat door, looks at me, and then just walks on out. And then walked back in and walked in the cat door. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
No joke.
I was like, white possum. And I figured out like the hard way what it meant. A few days later, Roxy went missing, and I figured out she probably got coyote got her. But up to that point, what we didn't realize, we couldn't find them, but Roxy had been killing, chipmunks and stuff like that and stashing them in weird places on the porch, and the possums were coming to eat them.
Oh.
So a white possum, the omen is easy prey. So if you see a white possum, keep your pets in, because that means that means there's because a coyote, an owl, a hawk's gonna see that white possum. It's warning you that your pets are in danger. How I took that.
I'm glad you told me that story.
So if anyone ever tells me they see a white possum, it's just really easy prey for like anything to see. So
yeah, I'm glad you said
your
that.
Your creatures are in danger too.
Put them in the house.
You, it's letting you know, hey,
That's so crazy.
That was a weird one, yeah. That was sad, but
very sad.
But on a, so like an uplifting one is a raven, right? A bird, ravens.
Yes.
So if you see a raven, you're gonna find a witch. You can find a witch somewhere nearby. There's a raven around here when I moved in, so one of my neighbors is a witchy. She's witchy. or he. Yeah, dude witch.
You never know.
Do you have any more omen stories for our listeners?
No, but I like the ones that you've said.
Trying to think of any more. I mean, there's so many. There's just like a million. I'm sure your listeners. You got one.
Yes. Do you know that if you see a pile of poop somewhere, that is a bad omen and you shouldn't look at it? It'll bring bad luck. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
What if you step in it?
That's even worse. If you step in it, just don't look at it.
Yeah. And when you're cleaning your shoes,
look
just
at the
throw your shoes behind. Why is it bad luck to look at it? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Shit happens.
Shit happens.
I don't know.
You did that whole story for that.
You know I did. I did.
Well, listeners and watchers, if you're watching, I would like to say thank you so much for watching and listening.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. They're an advice app where you get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get clarity you need to create the life you deserve.
You deserve.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
Yes.
Get your life. That's everclear.com, and it's an app. So.
Yes.
And lastly, Misty, thank you for having a glass of wine with me and a podcast about omens.
You.
And if there is any kind of omen related to wine, I would say
drink more.
You drink more.
It'll bring you good luck.
That's a prediction. It'll definitely bring you good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm not ready yet. I don't want to stop. I want to keep talking to the listeners because I've got wine. Okay, she's right. Thank you for listening and watching. We love you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was cute.